Good afternoon, everyone. This is Eileen. Today I'll be your host for the day. Welcome to Advantech webinar, Connect IoT Device Management with Microsoft Azure. There will be two sessions covering during this webinar. First session will be Microsoft Azure's Infrastructure Overview. It will be covered by David Yong, our ASEAN Software Project Manager. This session covers the value of Azure's infrastructure as a service and how it can achieve flexibility, cost effectiveness, scalability, and security in Azure's cloud platform. In our second session, it will cover DeviceOn BI with Microsoft Azure's business integration platform. This session will be covered by Jack Yang, Advantech HQ Software Project Manager. Advantech DeviceOn BI is an open cloud-based industrial IoT platform, which provide a device management and business integration solution designed in cooperation with Microsoft Azure for software infrastructure. In addition, DeviceOn BI is suitable for real-time monitoring and optimizing operation management designed to provide a smart asset management that helps business making a successful digital transformation. With no further ado, we will invite David for his deliberation on Microsoft Azure. Over to you, David.
Hi, thank you, Eileen. Yeah, my name is Yong. So I'm the software project manager in Advantech. So today I will present on this Microsoft Azure and also cloud computing fundamentals and basics. So because we have a mix of different audience, we have some technical, we have some non-technical people in this session. So this session mainly will be focusing on the business value of cloud computing, how cloud computing can help your business achieve values and try to solve some of the business related problems. So we will have very high level overview to look at why you should consider using cloud computing to help accelerate your business and also help you achieve some of the benefits that cloud computing provide. So the world is moving into digital space faster than ever before. So what this slide is trying to say is that basically a lot of the company in this era is moving into the cloud computing technology because of a lot of the benefits that they can get from using the cloud. So that is why the world is moving to the digital space in a very fast pace. And probably you should also take a consideration and look into this technology and how this technology can help your business to grow. So let's have a little bit history of our computer era. So as you can see on the left side, we have PC era. Is where it's between 1960s to 70s, where we have our individual PCs on every desktop. So we have our individual applications on our desktop to do our project. But then on the green, on the middle section, we have the internet era. So where we have servers, we have PCs, and then we have our small corporate networks, and then we have another corporate networks, and we connect them all together to form the internet. And then we probably have a firewall to protect our networks. We have all these rules to protect our resources inside. And then we come to the new era, which is the cloud era. So the cloud era, we have slightly different approach on things. For example, security, we have something called identity as security. We no longer can put all of our resources behind a firewall, behind a corporate network, but instead we have something like identity as a security. We have some vendors call it zero trust, where we have to explicitly identify all of the users and all of the owners, and so that we also allow them with the least privilege to access the resources. And then in the cloud era, we also have something called on-demand productivity, where we use how much resources and we pay for only what we use. So we don't need to own a server, or we don't need to build a server, but we can rent them instead by minute, by hour, and we only pay for what we use. So that not only gives us the agility to build our application, but also give us cost effectiveness on testing certain applications instead of building the entire data center in order to test something. We also have the hybrid flexibility, so where we can connect our on-premise servers, on-premise infrastructure to the cloud in order to maximize our productivity and cost savings, and probably some security and compliance concern that we have. And that gives us this flexibility in the cloud era. So we will go through more on the business value of the cloud, why you should consider cloud as a way to go forward. So cloud computing refers to on-demand provision of computational resources, data, software, via a computer network rather than from a local computer. So this literally means that we no longer need to own something, for example, like a data center or a server, in order to build our application. So the keyword here is on demand. So that is the flexibility we can get out of cloud computing. So basically we can rent, for example, we can rent for 1 hour or 2 hours or 1 week or 2 weeks, depends on our projects, because nowadays there's no certainties of how long our projects will run. Probably our projects will run for the next 3 months. Then we only need 3 months to run that project. We don't need to buy a data center or a server in order to run project for 3 months. We can instead rent a computer or server from a vendor, for example, Microsoft Azure, in order to build our application and run it for 3 months. Or for example, we need to run it for a year, where we don't need to build a server. We can just go for 1 year of reservation. We call it reserve instance in Microsoft Azure. We can get even a cheaper price when we reserve a 1 year reservation of our server. So that is the benefit that cloud computing gives you, where you have the flexibility. So the most important thing is the flexibility that we get, so we can do our work or our project more efficiently. So probably you might have a question that is cloud computing suitable for me? Is cloud computing only useful for a certain scenario or certain industry? So actually, cloud computing is very, very diverse. It can be used for, as you can see on the screen, for healthcare, for financial services, for manufacturing, retail, for government. Basically, it covers almost everything. So the first one, as you can see, is actually a Walgreen pharmacy. I believe some of you might know this brand. It's a big major global pharmacy and healthcare retail provider, more than 25 countries. So basically, what they did on their platform is that they built a chatbot in order to with COVID-19 support and answers for their patients, because during the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of patients are asking questions on the website, so they cannot cope with the traffic. So they built this chatbot using Microsoft Bot Service in order to answer all these commonly asked questions. So this is one of the use case of Microsoft Azure. And then the second one is financial services. So this is from HSBC Bank, basically created using this paying apps to help deliver their services through a mobile apps, so that they can serve the customer better, give a better user experience using Microsoft Azure as well. So there are also many other examples, not just these five in that. There are also other industry as well might be applicable to your use case. So next we see this slide. Maybe what this slide tells us is that more than 95% of Fortune 500 companies using Microsoft Cloud. As you can see on this slide, you might be familiar with some of the logos like Coca-Cola, HP, MasterCard. So this actually translates into a lot of the industries, variety of the industries are actually can utilize the cloud, can utilize the benefit of the cloud. It's not only you don't need to migrate all of your applications to the cloud. The thing is that you can just probably build a project, a small project, or maybe use some of the storage space on the cloud to utilize the benefit of the scalability of the storage space on the cloud. That can be one of the use case. Or if you are if you want to connect some of your applications up to the cloud to utilize some of the security features of the cloud, you do so as well. So that will give you some of the cloud benefits. So you don't need to migrate all of your data or all of your infrastructure to the cloud in order to extract the benefit of the cloud. So next we will talk a bit on why companies moving to the cloud. So OpEx pricing models. So enable future growth with flexible pay-per-use on-demand cloud benefits and take advantage of operational expenditure model rather than a traditional capital expenditure model. So what this slide tells us is that traditionally, where we purchase our servers or we build our data centers, we are actually paying a very huge sum, a very huge upfront payment in order to build all these servers, in order to run our application. But the modern way, in the cloud way, we convert all this capital expenditure or CapEx into what we call operational expenditure, or what we call OpEx pricing model. So the benefit here is actually very huge. So a lot of companies actually trying very hard to convert their CapEx into OpEx because they no longer want to pay a lot of money or pay a huge capital to build something which they won't see the ROI of their infrastructures because of the uncertainties of the market. We have things like COVID-19 pandemic where we cannot see how far our business can go. So we do not want to invest too much on something that we cannot foresee. So business try to use OpEx these days as much as they can, because this gives them flexibility in terms of payment, in terms of usage, and also give them this on-demand cloud benefits. So they can pay for what they use. so they don't need to pay for a 5 years investment. So next we have scalability. So one of the great benefits of using the cloud is also because of scalability. So what scalability means is that, for example, if I purchase a server, I put it on my company, but if let's say my application suddenly have a surge of traffic coming in, for example, I build a website that is a e-commerce website that I sell something on Black Friday, for example, or any event, sales event, where I have this uncertain volume of traffic coming in on a certain period of the day or certain period of time, where I cannot scale my infrastructure as quickly as the cloud. So I cannot go and purchase a server and build that server because I just want to cater for the traffic, for example, for Black Friday, just for one day. I don't need to go and purchase a infrastructure just for that. But using the cloud, I get this benefit of scalability where I can scale up my resources, scale up my server for that certain period of time. And when the traffic is over, then I can scale them back to the minimal amount to allow for best efficiency of resources utilization. So that is one of the benefit that we can get out of the cloud. So that is one of the greatest benefit of using the cloud, which is the scalability. So next we have staff productivity. So when we think of infrastructure, we often forget about the manpower as well. So our manpower is actually one of the assets that we need to take into consideration. So because every manpower, every hour is money that we are spending. So we don't want our IT staff is busy with maintenance of the infrastructure or busy with patching our servers, patching our operating systems. So where all the hours is spent on all this troubleshooting, maintenance, all this technical stuff, but rather we want our staff to spend more time on optimizing or innovating our infrastructure, so that cloud can come into the picture and help us with this in this situation. So with the cloud, the infrastructure is being managed for us. So you don't have to worry about the infrastructure anymore. You don't have to worry about the server room, the cooling of the server, and all these physical infrastructure issues. You don't have to worry. All that is already heavy lifted by the vendor. For example, Microsoft Azure. So your staff can focus more on the core business, on the function of the business, on the how to optimize the process and all that stuff. So that is also one way that we can take into consideration of using the cloud, not just about the security, the cost, but also our staff productivity. Next, of course, we have security and compliance, because security, I believe, is one of the major concern that a lot of the business owners worry about. So security, when it comes to security, actually, when we are using the cloud, we actually using something called a shared responsibility, because the security of the data and all that it still goes back to the business owner or the user themselves. So they have to also well literate enough to use the cloud, use the technology in order to make this entire infrastructure safe. But of course, on the physical part, on the physical infrastructure part, is all the security is all maintained by the vendors. For example, the servers themselves, they are heavily guarded by securities. They have CCTVs, they have the best cooling system, and they have a proper server room, proper data center to make sure the server is secure and compliant to all the standards that we have. So, and when it comes to compliance, we have to also be aware of this compliance, because when we build certain applications, for example, we build applications for financial institution, for banks, for healthcare, those industry require very strict compliance to adhere to. So that's why sometimes it's hard for a company to meet all these compliance set by the, for example, government or healthcare or banking industries. But by using the cloud, for example, Microsoft Azure, they already have all these compliance certifications done, so that you can just use all these services available on the cloud in order to build your applications that is compliant to all these strict compliance. So that is also part of the security, also of the concern that we have to take into consideration. So next we have availability. So of course, we want our applications to be as highly available as possible. So we want continuity for some of the mission critical systems. For example, let's say banking websites. We do not want to have a very bad user experience where we transferring our money, then we have the apps going down. So we don't want to experience these kind of problems. That's why we have to build something very highly available, which is very costly and very complex, not easy to build this kind of application traditionally, for example, on-premise infrastructures where we have to build on multiple locations or across the world. We have infrastructure across the world. So by using the cloud, we basically simplify all this process into just a few clicks of a button. Then we can have our application high available across many different regions around the world, and that actually address a lot of the business continuity issues. So that is also one of the benefits that we should take into consideration. Next, we have optimization. So when it comes to the cloud, we actually have a lot of optimizations that you can do. For example, it gives you a lot of cost savings offers, gives you managed services, it gives you management tools to manage all your costs, manage all your expenses, to monitor your application to see how much resources you really need for your applications. All these tools can help you optimize so that you don't overspend your money on idling resources. So because those are wastage that we're trying to reduce, we just want to use the maximum amount of our resources available to us, and we don't want to pay more for IT resources. We want to pay just for what we use. So uh, the cloud is there for you to optimize to your workloads. So next is reduce data center footprint. So this slide basically trying to tell us is that we trying to reduce the data center footprint because we want to expedite our app development. All we want actually, when we think back, we actually want our applications to go to the market as quickly as possible. We just want to make more money. We want our applications to run smoothly, securely. Those are the things that we want. So why go and make a new data center when we can actually do something on the cloud where people already built the data center for us? The important thing is we just want to publish our app and start making money. So those are probably some of the factors that you can take into consideration, whether you really want to build a data center for a long run, or you just want to build an app for as quick as possible to market your applications. So those are the considerations you can take into. So next is a case study. This is a company called Chipotle Mexican Grill. It's a restaurant, very famous Mexican restaurant. Basically, they built these applications on their existing infrastructure. They modernize all of the infrastructure into Microsoft Azure. So I'll show the next slide where you can get a more proper overview of what are the changes that Chipotle has moved into. So you can see on the left side is their previous technology where they have all these multiple silo customer-facing website backend services, manual deployments, small changes require new code, and self-hosted environment consuming resources on operational daily. So after they have modernized their applications to Azure, so they are using all these services where they run individually. They are highly available. They are also pay as you go. So they using, for example, Azure App Services for the front end, and they use Azure API management for their API gateway and manage all the APIs. And Cosmos DB is the database, is the unstructured database that they use. Actually, that saves them a lot of latency in the database where they simplify from their relational tables into this Cosmos DB database and Microsoft Azure Functions, where this is a trigger-based kind of service that allow them to trigger some of the codes and merge all of the applications together, and they have key vaults to store all their secrets and certificates, and they have Visual Studio for their development. So they simplify all this into Microsoft Azure services. So the key takeaway is that everything now is running in the cloud and on a fully managed Azure services. Actually, the Chipotle's technical team can no longer need to worry about the day-to-day operations. For example, like the backups, the maintenance, the patching, and so on. So that actually saves them a lot of time. And also, they don't have to worry about the performance, the scalability, because everything is on auto scaling. Yeah, they are also reducing the time to market and quick adjustments to their customer needs. So these are some of the benefits that Chipotle get out from moving the applications to solutions in Azure. So next is a Walgreen Boots Alliance, so which we slightly touched on this on the previous slides. So basically, they create this chatbot service on Microsoft Azure to respond to high volume of traffic coming in during the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic period. So this chatbot actually helps them with 2,500 interactions in just the first 24 hours. So those are some of the use case that Microsoft Azure can address. So here is a brief on some of the service that they migrate into. So they have Azure Bot Service, they have the Microsoft Bot Framework, and they have using the Microsoft machine learning, Synapse Analytics, and all that to help them build that solution. So next, I will introduce some of the Advantech, our company's services. So what are the services that we provide for our customers? So we are actually cloud solution provider. So we provide consultation, we provide pricing for our customers. So I'd like to also just briefly show you the services that we provide, so that you can to us if you have any requirements or any questions. We are more than happy to help you with your pre-sales questions or any pricing questions that you have. So before that, I just would like to introduce our team. So in our team, we actually have around 40 people in this professional team to support all this development, all this architecture work. So we have a team of solution engineer, and we have solution architect as well to help with the design, with the queries, and we have developer as well to help with the code and all that. And we have product manager and product sales manager for all the sales and pre-sales questions. So for Advantech Azure services, here are a summary, but of course we have more than all these items here in the picture. So yeah, basically we provide cost optimization, we provide managed services, we provide professional services. All this we help customer to build all these solutions on Azure. So on depend as well on any solutions on Microsoft Azure Cloud. So definitely you can reach out to us if you have any requirements or you have any projects that you would like to build on the cloud to utilize the benefit of the cloud. Then definitely you can reach out to our pre-sales team or our sales team. We would more than happy to help you to also probably help you with pricing and also some technical problems that you might have. So before that, let me just also quickly show you that cloud solution provider business models. So Advantech is a first tier direct Microsoft distributor. So basically what that means is that as you can see here, there's an indirect provider and there's a direct reseller. So a lot of the smaller companies actually is indirect reseller. They are just selling, for example, Microsoft licenses to their end customers. So, but Advantech is in this indirect provider. We are actually a provider. We are direct. Microsoft, we have a direct relationship with Microsoft. So we can provide licenses, for example, SQL Server licenses, Microsoft Office licenses, or subscription-based licenses to our customers. So what that means is that we can actually give a better margin. If you are a reseller, we can also provide to reseller, not just to end customers. So that means you can, if you're a reseller, you actually get a better margin. If you are end customer, you can also get a better pricing from us. So definitely check out with us if you have any Microsoft licensing questions. You would like to know the price of certain products, we can also help you with that. So next is the second session where we will have our software project manager Yong to present on how to connect IoT device management with Microsoft Azure.
Hello everyone, I'm the Software Product Manager of Advantech Industrial IoT. In this short session, I will introduce DeviceOn BI, the Industrial IoT Device Management and Business Integration Platform, a service based on Microsoft Azure. DeviceOn BI is created to accelerate digital transformation as well as to enhance the values after digital transformation. In the field of environmental and facilities monitoring in particular, there are three major aspects that values digital operation and maintenance most: safety, instant response, and efficient management. While we do find these three aspects important, but we also find some aches, on the other hand, to tackle before we can make use of data over digital transformation. These aches are: configuration and learning curve is heavy to get data sorted and gathered to a centralized platform. And after the data sorted, manage them and get them over to integrate to other platforms is also difficult and complicated. Therefore, Advantech provides three essential software that can easily assist you for the digital O&M business. The fundamental hierarchy of the OT data to application services is as shown, based on three major software solutions: AceLink, Web-based SCADA, and DeviceOn BI. The solutions to each layers allows domain partners to develop vertical needs among them, transforming traditional system integrator business model from pure configuration setup to operation services. DeviceOn BI is a business integration platform that helps businesses to integrate and accelerate the distributed devices operation and management over the cloud. With the aid of Microsoft Azure, all the fundamental infrastructure works and development time has been minimized, letting us to focus on what is essential for the field side as well as the scope that is required for operation management. Before going to the functions in DeviceOn BI, allow me to outline the architecture we used in Microsoft Azure. In general, we use Azure Kubernetes Service and storage application combinations to fulfill DeviceOn BI. The right-hand side lists the storage services DeviceOn BI used. With the aid of Microsoft Azure, we gained three major benefits. In connectivity, the entrance for all connections requires high security and reliability. By using Azure IoT Hub, we can focus on the data after connection without any noises. The high self-provisioning of resources that can be easily turned to fit the market change gives us agility to make necessary changes at any instance. Finally, scalability is extremely important because adjustments occur every day in the IoT world. The auto-scale Cosmos DB from Azure provides the tendency that allows us to process data from various dimensions whenever it is needed. Here is the summarized hierarchy of the layers to the end device to the cloud services. DeviceOn BI is a web-based service platform that allows you to make hierarchical organization management as well as some features regarding to the management of the vertical devices over the cloud platform. In short, if you would like to have the IoT device for centralized management, creating monitoring dashboards, managing the virtual twin objects, or receive alarm notification of the connected devices, DeviceOn BI is the best tool for you to accomplish the needs. The practices are best fit for flood monitoring, facilities monitoring, distributed system management, as well as the overall environmental monitoring for all sorts of distributed systems. Together with the various edge hardware provided by Advantech, DeviceOn BI provides general functions that is fundamentally ready to build your domain application scenario. Domain partners just have to focus on their expertise and finish the final touches to make the solution-ready package. The 5 examples of the domains are listed here for your quick reference. DeviceOn BI consists of 2 major parts, Device Management Platform and a Data Management Platform. The partners can remotely configure and distribute the settings on a centralized platform. Let me show you some of the functions in the coming slides. Here are the categorized major functions in DeviceOn BI Business Integration Portal. The main concept to handle data in DeviceOn BI is in terms of objects. These objects are categorized in the organization with respect to the owner and the role privileges within the organization, designed from the management perspective. The plugin feature can obtain information such as weather forecast or data calculated by third-party sources, which bridges the ecosystem in a faster pace. I will introduce some outstanding functions in the coming pages. Let's take a closer look for the functions of DeviceOn BI. I will not go through too much in details as you can find the video materials in Advantech Academy provided by our solution engineers. However, the concept of DeviceOn BI organization hierarchy is essential because all management starts with an organization. And in each organization, the management and engineering setup perspective is different. DeviceOn BI provides user-friendly interfaces that can help you to build up the configurations in a very short time. And as to operation control and monitoring, the structured dashboard can be designed as well as reports can be generated. DeviceOn BI uses the concept of virtual objects. We need to highlight this because the virtual object is the actual thing we care the most in terms of O&M business. The object is formed by the actual important sensor tags grouped together and provide a name. For example, we can gather information from various sensors devices such as power and water flow to name an object pump. This allows further data exchange much more flexible and readable to communicate with various people or teams. Once we have everything packed and as an object, dashboard drawing can be much easier by using the dashboard wizard, since the only thing we have to do after selecting and placing the panels of the dashboard will be associating which of the object parameter to the respective panel, and it is done. No coding is required. Next, the device management functions allows customers to set up and view the instant status of device connected. Depending on the type of the device connected, firmware OTA or platform computer applications remote installations can also be done. The real-time monitoring gives you a glimpse of the device status. From I/O readings to platform system information, the trend provides overall quick lookup of the device. In the firmware OTA function, we can select the version that applies to the device best and review the installation history. For platform computers, additional private repository can be added to protect customers' own applications as well as install applications or drivers that applies to the generic models. The installation history also provides the records of what has been done to the device. Let me wrap up my sharing today with this picture again. DeviceOn BI is a business integration platform that accelerates digital O&M setup. Customers can have preemptive response, secure operation safety, and bring up maintenance efficiency. With the functions developed and running on Microsoft Azure, DeviceOn BI delivers a reliable and promising service, leaves no worries for service administrators as well as domain service providers.